Hi, welcome to Golden Years. This month, my special guest is Mayor Dennis Hanwell, and he is going to share with us what is going on in the city of Medina. He'll give us some new businesses coming in and some updates. So come on back.
When emergencies threaten, you want to know immediately. In the city of Brunswick, residents receive alerts from Code Red. The Code Red service works with a database of phone numbers of Brunswick residents. Depending on the size and scope of the emergency, Code Red alerts either all of the city or just the part that is affected.
This is a Code Red message from the city of Brunswick.
As a city resident, you also have the opportunity to add warnings about severe weather, such as tornadoes, thunderstorms, or flash floods. If you want to be sure that you are registered, or if you want to add or change your notifications or phone number, we encourage you to visit the Code Red website. You'll find a link to Code Red on the city's website, www.brunswick.oh.us. Just click on the button for complete information and options.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Yeah.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
You're watching The Bat.
Welcome back to Golden Years. This month, my special guest is Mayor Dennis Hanwell. Dennis, thank you so much for joining us this month.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Lori. Good to see you.
Good to see you, really, since we haven't seen each other in person for over a year. I miss seeing all my friends.
Right, me too.
So before you became mayor, you have a police background, and you were in the city of Medina?
Right. Well, I started at the sheriff's department. I was a special deputy there for 2.5 years. And then I came over to Medina City as a patrol officer for 6 years, a sergeant for 2, a lieutenant for 5, and I was the chief of police for nearly 13. And then I had to resign that position to run for mayor. I wasn't allowed to stay the police chief and run for mayor under Ohio law.
So what was your final decision to make that transition, to go from police to city?
Well, I had 26 years in at the police department. And as the police chief, I was civil service protected, myself, the fire chief, and the city engineer. But as mayors come and go, then they generally will replace all the department heads except those with civil service protection. So although I was protected, we had a great team that was working together and helping one another. And I didn't want to see some new mayor come in and wipe that all out. So when the former mayor decided not to run, I figured I would take a chance, resign my post at the police department, and try to save each of those department heads' positions. And the first vote, or the first run in 2009, there were 3 candidates. I was one of 3, and we ended up with just short of 80% of the vote. And the last 2 times I've run, there was no opposition at all. So, and of course, the loyalty now of those department heads, there's nothing in the world that they won't do for the city of Medina, and we've got a great team, and it's going well.
Oh, that's good. That's very good to hear. So then you've been mayor, you said, for 13 years.
12. I'm working on my 12th year right now.
Going on. Okay.
Well, I've got to run again this fall, and if I'm successful, I'll be the first mayor in Medina to have done more than 3 terms. And it actually, the timing works out well for me. At the end of this term, I'll be 65, and I was thinking maybe it was time to pull the plug. But before we got on camera, I was sharing with you about the 2 grandchildren and the young guy. If I stay one more term, then both of the grandchildren will be in school, and the parents won't have to worry about, who's going to watch them and so forth. So it works out for them, and it works out for the city because they'd like me to stay one more term.
And having the grandchildren, though, Dennis, keeps you more young.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They keep you going. Chris is just like a busy little girl with these kids.
Yes, she's got both of them. 3 days a week and has to keep an eye on them and run the little granddaughter back and forth to school, preschool. And so she's going to kindergarten this year. And then the little guy, probably another 4 years, and he'll be ready to go. If we calm him down enough to get there.
A lot of grandparents say that it's really a difference in their life. I mean, but to grow up with their grandchildren, I mean, that's got to create such a precious memory.
Right. Well, I had the ability when I was with the police department, I worked the night shift and Chris worked the day shift. So I was kind of home with the kids during the day, and, I would never trade that experience for anything, because I got to see so many things that other fathers, working away from the house just don't get to see. And that may be the reason that Chris and I have been married for 42 years, because we didn't see each other for the first 20 or so. But
Okay, so I'd like to ask my viewers that I'm interviewing this year, what happened when COVID happened?
right.
I mean, no one had any plans for this. So it sounded like you got a good team, so you probably got everything, a good plan going.
Right. So like everybody else, that we were required to shut down the building. We couldn't permit access to the public. What we had was signs posted at the door. They'd have to call from the lobby. Then we'd have to go in and escort them in, take care of paperwork if they needed a permit or needed to pay a bill. And that's just not the customer service that I like. So we did that from March of last year until the April 2nd of this year. And we were the first government office to open back up. And we had already put partitions at each of the windows, so that our employees were protected and the public was protected. We require masks, we require social distancing, but I saw no reason that we couldn't get the public back in here so we can interact with them, see how they're doing, and take care of their needs on a personal level. And that was important to me. The other thing we did right away with the businesses, because some of the restaurants had to close, they couldn't let customers in at first. So what we did is we had a meeting with all the businesses downstairs, with the Chamber of Commerce, Main Street, Medina, and we approved everybody using the same sign with the city logo on it to designate spaces out front for carryout for them. And then people could park there. They would either run the food out with an employee or they'd run in and get the food. And then that way they could turn the business over and try to make up for the lost revenue of those that were not coming in. So again, it was just a partnership with the city, the chamber, the Main Street, and the local businesses to help pull them through this.
Did you lose any restaurants in this time?
Our square has been 100% occupied for the last 7 or 8 years. We're very proud of that, and we work very hard at that. We've lost a couple on the north end there, up closer to the Kmart. Yours truly, not yours truly. Eaton Park went out, and then the other one, I can't think of the name of it right now, right next to them went out. But overall, we've done well where the Eaton Park
Ruby Tuesday?
Ruby Tuesday, exactly.
Ruby Tuesday's gone.
Yes. Yeah. So Ruby Tuesday and Eaton Park left. Now the Eaton Park is going to become the new Chick-fil-A in town. So there's a lot of excitement for that. We've been trying to get a Chick-fil-A my whole time as mayor. And they were going to Brunswick, and they're going to Parma, and they're going to Worcester. And apparently that's a corporate decision. It's not the franchise owner's decision, because a lot of people wanted to come to Medina, but the corporate was telling them, well, there's kind of a pecking order. So we were thankful that our turn finally came around.
Do you feel that like restaurants do better on Pearl Road versus the travel on 18?
With the 18 improvements that are going to happen right now, there's some traffic congestion, but they're going to widen. There's a project for the next 2.5 years to widen from Nettleton now, where it narrows, all the way up to near the hospital to 5 lanes. And I think that is really going to help. The only reason some of them, they all do pretty well, but the only reason some of them out there have some challenges is there's the barriers that keep from crossing the road at certain places, and also just the traffic volume, because the amounts of lanes there versus the volume of traffic. That's why the improvement needed to happen. And we did the same thing with 42. We did a $22 million project of widening 42 with decorative lights from the north end of town to Harding Street, and that has really helped the businesses grow, and we've got a number of new businesses as a result of that.
It looks nice. I do enjoy when there's not a lot of traffic driving through there. But I don't get to Medina as often as I used to because I don't do like crutches at the hospital anymore. So that used to be a nice break to drive to the city of Medina. Now I heard yesterday, and I don't know how, I can't believe this is true. A customer told me that Brunswick has more residents than Medina.
Yeah, that is true. I think Brunswick's probably right in the area of maybe 34,000. And the city of Medina is right around 27,000, 28,000.
I just thought Medina had just more development, further out there.
Well, there are a lot of developments now, but they're in Medina Township, Montville Township, Lafayette Township, housing developments. In the city of Medina, we don't even, we probably have a handful of buildable lots left. So we kind of build out and decided not to keep annexing. So we're about 11 or so square miles, and I think Brunswick is substantially larger than that.
We just need more restaurants. Can you send some of your restaurants our way?
Well, I tease Carl DeForest all the time. Carl and I have known each other for years, and I know he was a guest on your show not too long ago here, but I was teasing him that we did that 42 project just to handle the volume of people coming from Brunswick down to Medina for all of the activities that we have down here. And of course, he wanted to turn it around and say it was to get all the traffic from Medina up to Brunswick, but we like to tease each other.
Oh, I bet. You two have the same personalities. They could just antagonize each other. Okay, so share with me, as far as the seniors, what does Medina offer our senior citizens? Like as far as trash, snow? We
have a senior snowplow program. If it depends on their income level. So it's based on a certain percentage of what the federal government sets as a level, and then we give a percentage of that. So it's a certain amount for one person, a certain amount for two persons, and we will plow the snow in their driveway. They have to register every year. It's $15. It's not just for seniors; it's also for disabled or for active military veterans as well. Or not military veterans, but active military, so that their spouse doesn't have to worry about that. Other things that we've done is we have a program called Love Medina every year, and it started with Connection Church, and now Grace Church is doing it. So we take that same database of the people we're doing their driveways, and we ask them if they have any needs. Maybe it's painting a shed, maybe it's shingling a shed, maybe it's taking bushes out, planting bushes, putting mulch down, raking leaves, just whatever they can't do for themselves, but they'd like to do something to spruce the property up. And when the Connection Church was doing it, they just donated the labor, and the resident would have to buy all the supplies. When the Grace Church took it over, they did a fundraising thing, and they paid for all the supplies, all the equipment, the mulch, whatever it took. And they have different groups, a group of carpenters, a group of painters, a group of landscape people. And some of the other things are, we have a few elderly residents, especially when they get up in years quite a bit, that they can't even physically get the garbage cans down to the road, or maybe they're disabled and they can't get them down to the road. So we have on our routes those addresses noted, and then our staff on the back of the truck will run up, get the garbage can, bring it down, put it in the back of the truck, the contents, and then take it back and put it back where it goes, just so they don't have to worry about it. And that's kind of like why I like having our own sanitation here instead of contracting, because sometimes we'll get a call from somebody who says, I slept in and I didn't get the trash out, and I heard the truck going down the road, and now I've got to hold it for another week. What we'll do is, if the truck is still in the neighborhood, we'll dispatch it back to the address to get it for them. If the truck is not in the neighborhood, then either the foreman that runs the crew or my service director will go down. They'll put the stuff in bags, catch up to the garbage truck, and get rid of them for it. And that's just kind of the customer
nice.
service model that we do a little bit differently. Just because we want people to feel that they're important here, and that it's important for us to respond to things like that.
Because a lot of seniors don't want to bother their kids because their kids are too busy.
And, I always look at things. It doesn't matter if it's the seniors or somebody coming in for a permit or whatever. I always try to look at it from their perspective. If that was my mother, or my grandmother calling in needing something like this, how would I want them to be treated, and how would I want them to be cared for? And when you look at things from that perspective, you find you're much more accommodating and caring about people.
Okay, so what about when Mrs. Jones goes off to Florida in the wintertime? As far as, does anyone watch their houses or?
Right, they can sign up for what we have a vacation watch program through our police department, and we check it not only daily but every shift. So we have 3 shifts during a normal 24-hour period with our patrol officers. So if they're gone for a week, it'll be checked 21 times. And then my new police chief, well, I say new, he's probably 3 years in, but he instituted a program as well that they send them a list. Then when they get back, they actually send them a list of all the dates and times that they were there, just to let them know. We didn't say we were going to check it. These are the dates and times that we did check it. And a lot of times the neighbors will tell them that too, that, well, I saw the officers over, a couple times a day, doing this and doing that. And but it's important that they know that, if you sign up for it, we are going to do what we say we'll do. Another thing we do in our utility department is they monitor, again, because we can keep an eye on the water and trash. So if we notice somebody that all of a sudden their water, maybe their use is, $20 a month, and we're getting halfway through the month and it's up to $40 already. What we'll do is then dispatch one of our water personnel over there and check with them. Did you fill a pool? Did you put in a garden and you're watering it? Or is there some explanation of this? And what we find in particular with the seniors is sometimes they have a leaky valve and maybe the toilet, or they may even have a faucet leaking, sometimes in a crawl space or in a basement, but they don't get down there enough to check it. And, then their water bill is just going to keep going if we don't, A, identify the problem, and B, let them get it corrected to stop that exorbitant bill then. My direction to my staff has always been that, we need to make Medina kind of a step above, a little bit better in our services and how we treat people and how we respond to their needs, all of those things. And by doing that, we have other business owners. We've got testimonials on our website, other business owners telling why they have their business here and why you should bring your business here because of the way they're treated, the way we help them. Carlisle Brake and Friction, I want to get off on a tangent. Carlisle Brake and Friction had a plant in Oklahoma, Texas, and Medina, and they were going to close one of the 3. And they asked me, they said, can you tell me what's different here? So I talked about the customer service and all the things we do and this and that. But I said, let me share this with you. I said, we have a rail line and that the city owns, and a couple different companies are included in it. And we noticed that the revenue was getting higher than it needed to be for the repairs we have to do every year. So we cut it once and then we eliminated it. We cut it for 2 years, eliminated it for 3 years. I said, when you talk to the other 2 cities where your 2 plants are in Texas and Oklahoma, ask them if they ever cut their bills to companies because they had more revenue than they needed. And they left. They were gone about 2 or 3 months, and they called another meeting back over at the county administration building, and we sat around the table. They said, we're going to close Oklahoma and we're coming to Medina. And the president of Carlisle Brake and Friction looked across the table at me. He goes, Mayor, you're right. Nobody's ever done anything that you did. And I said, well, I'm just telling you that's an example. So he was so pleased with the project when they built the addition on the Medina plant that he closed the corporate office in Solon and moved all of those folks down here. And just the corporate office alone was close to $6 million in payroll, in addition to the plant expansion. So it's just little things like that. If you work with people, if you explain why we're a little bit different, then the city wins. And Of course, now that building value has increased because they've expanded it so much. So the county's getting more taxes. We're employing more people. And of course, the city income tax is raising. So we all win by that.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation for everybody included.
Right.
So it sounds like you're a mayor that they like over there.
So far. On any given day, you just, you don't know.
Well, true. Oh, true. I was told at one time, not everyone's going to like you. So you have
Right.
to realize that in life. You have to accept it.
Exactly.
I said, okay, whatever. Okay, so you gave me some notes here, like card games on deck.
So the rec center had to close just like restaurants did, and then they slowly let them reopen with a small percentage of occupancy, and so instead of having 500-600 people in, maybe you could have 50, and then 50 became 100, and so what we did is now we're slowly bringing things back. So there's like knitting and crochet groups, senior sneakers programs. We moved them to larger rooms because maybe you'd have 30 people in a small room, but now you can't social distance. So under the new guidelines, if we open up the double room, you might be able to have 15 instead of the 30, and they can still stay 6 feet apart. The other thing I did is we lost our rec center director here getting close to a year ago now, maybe last fall. And so my parks director, I asked him to take it over, at least in the interim, until we decide if we're going to replace that person or not. And because of him being over the parks, what he started looking at is the synergy between the two. So now it's nicer weather. So could we have a Silver Sneakers program up on the square or in one of our other parks? So now we're outside, and it's a lot easier to spread people out, in a pavilion or in a field, and you're out in the fresh air versus trying to get them in these smaller rooms and accommodate the social distancing. So we've got a lot of things that we're changing and thinking about doing a little bit different. And the other benefit then is now we're introducing them to our parks that they may not even have been aware of were there, and all the amenities. But then also, because it's a rec center program, now they get into the rec center and see what else we have to offer there. So we're offering walks through the parks, exercise programs at the parks. They're having they had a spring fling social in a field house or it was going to be in the field house, which is at the rec center on April 29th. And they had to move it inside due to a larger number of people attending. Had to move it to a larger place. We created a 55 and better page on our website to list all the senior activities, so it was easier for folks to find instead of going just to the rec center and having to find it. They started card games back up, and it's on the sun deck outside there, just outside of the pool at the rec center. And then on Mondays, July 7th, July 12th, and August 2nd, they're going to have a yoga class up on the square at 8:30 and at 9 a.m. An exercise program. Now, one thing that the seniors really liked was they had luncheons at the rec center. And I mean, they would literally, I spoke there, I did the State of the City address a couple times there for them. And it was all three community rooms with people seated at tables, shoulder to shoulder, and you couldn't have put another person in there. And a lot of the seniors missed those luncheons because there was a chance every month that, see people that they hadn't seen since the last luncheon. And we're trying to get those started maybe back in the fall this year, but until they raise the group numbers, we just simply can't do that yet.
And with a lot of these seniors too, they're just getting anxious to get outside now and be with their friends.
Yes.
I mean, everyone was so cooped up for a year. I mean, they're anxious. They want to get out. So that sounds like a lot of good things, activities, to keep these people engaged and to be out with their friends.
What I did when I came over, I took a community policing model from the PD and I came over, and we call it the community government model. And what it means in essence, just in a nutshell, is that, I don't want, this is the water department and all they look at is water things. And this is the parks department. They only look at parks things. So what we've done with every employee is we are all responsible for the whole city. So if the parks employee sees a street light out or a street sign that needs repaired, or the water employee sees a hole in the road that's going to break a shock or damage a tire or something, that's each of our responsibilities. So that's that many eyes and ears that I have. I have 200 full-time employees and 100 part-time employees. So that's 300 people instead of, just department heads or just foremen looking at these things that we've empowered now. And as a result of that, the city looks nice. It's upkept. It looks like we care. And that's the impression we want to give, because every day we have the chance to make a positive first impression. And that's important to me, that it's a good one.
Oh, definitely. And you're the head of the path. So, I mean, you're the director and you're leading them, the right way, down the right road.
You have to lead by example. So,
exactly. Lead by example.
They get worked up sometimes because they'll see me outside and I'm picking up trash, or, I'm moving something, or, adjusting a barricade, and, you shouldn't have to do that. Well, if they see me doing it, then they know when I'm asking them to do it, it's not like I'm asking you to do it, but I won't do it myself. So it's just kind of a way to show them that I'm not just asking you to do something. I'll do the same thing you do, but in the same respect, I don't want to see you walking down a sidewalk on your way to a flower pot and walk right by the trash and not pick it up, because then we're going to have a conversation, right?
And it sounds like you do have a very open door policy, that if anyone had any issues, they could just come walking in your office and just say, Mayor, what about this and what about that? So you let everyone voice their opinion. Right, we do. We try to be very open. The only caveat to that is, sometimes I'll get a call about, an issue with the police department. Well, did you talk to a sergeant or a lieutenant or a chief? Because, they shouldn't be just bypassing everybody and coming right to me. Yeah. Now, if you go through the chain of command and you still have a question or a concern, I'm happy to talk with you. But it shouldn't be. And the same thing with employees. You have to be careful with that. I don't want the police chief to think, I'm over here in the mayor's office, but I'm still running the police department. I have to be cautious of that, having come from there. And the same thing, with the street department or the parks department is, that's why I have superintendents and directors, and, that's their job to resolve these issues. So if they call here first, we direct them back to the appropriate department. And then if they can't get it resolved, then let me know and I'll help them. I greatly appreciate you joining me today. And I do want to say publicly, I want to thank you graciously for supporting the Hands Foundation as many years as you have. You're a past board member, but you are just continually supporting us. And the seniors greatly appreciate that. The seniors are near and dear to me, and I'll continue to do that. And I appreciate you having me on the show. One last message to the seniors before we disappear? Yeah, I would just wish you all good health, good luck, and God bless. Thanks, Dennis. And thanks, Lori. Seeing you again. You as well, and you take care. You too. Thanks for joining us this month on Golden Years, and we'll see you next month.
Type bat.vibit.com into your browser to start watching the latest Brunswick area television shows on demand. Not finding what you're looking for? You can search the folders of show names over to the left, or type in the search of the name of the show or any keywords into the search engine. Then, click the show you'd like to see, watch it, scan through it, or download it to your computer to watch later or burn to DVD. That's bat.vibit.com.